Okay guys, second review of today. Now, I've decided to do something a little different. I've decided that the reviews I've done so far weren't very in-depth about the game, and that's the type of review I was really aiming to do. But to go in-depth about a game, I'm going to have to include spoilers. And the reviews are probably going to be very, very long. Upwards of 10 minutes, more than likely. So, I've decided in this review I'm going to review a game that I used to love. I struggle to play it now just because it hasn't aged very well. Although, it still sits in a lot of people's hearts as one of the best survival horrors of all time. Resident Evil 1. First, we'll go over the gameplay, then the plot, which involves the setting, characters, and story. Okay? So, the player character is a member of STARS, Special Tactics and Rescue Service, Alpha Team Law Enforcement Task Force, who is trapped in a mansion populated by dangerous mutated creatures. The objective of the game is to uncover the mystery of the mansion and ultimately escape alive. The game's graphics consist of real-time 3D polygonal characters and objects, superimposed over pre-rendered backdrops with predetermined camera angles. The player controls the character by pushing the D-pad or analog stick left or right to rotate the character, and then move the character forwards or backwards by pushing the D-pad up or down. To fulfill the game's objective, the player uncovers various documents that provide exposition, sorry if you can hear me dog, about the game's narrative, as well as clues that help them solve various, sorry if you can hear me dog, Millie, shut up, solve them, she's being very annoying today, help them solve various puzzles with the mansion. Key items are also available that give the player access to other items or new areas. The player can arm their character with weapons to defend themselves from enemies, although the ammunition available for each firearm is limited and the player must learn to conserve the ammunition they have for situations when they will really need it. To restore the character's health, the player uses first aid sprays, or 3 types of healing herbs that can be mixed together in different combinations for different healing effects. The carrying capacity of the player is limited depending on the character and items that the player does not wish to carry at the moment. Can be stored into an item box to be retrieved for later use. To save their progress, the player must pick up an ink ribbon and use it on any of the typewriters scattered throughout key locations in the game. However, the supply of ink ribbons the player can acquire is limited, much like the player's ammo and healing supplies. The various enemies the player encounters include infected creatures like flesh-eating zombies, zombie dogs, giant spiders, crows, and artificial creatures with code names such as Hunter and Chimera, as well as the game's ultimate adversary, a new type of biological weapon known as the Tyrant. Now for the plot, we'll start off with the setting, then we'll go characters and story. I'm actually going to punch my dog in the face. Millie, would you stop it please? A series of bizarre murders have occurred on the outskirts of Raccoon City, with signs of cannibalism on the victims' remains. The Raccoon City Police Department Special Tactics and Rescue Service, STARS, are assigned to investigate the murders. STARS is divided into 2 teams, Alpha and Bravo. Bravo is sent in first, but after contact with them is lost. Alpha team is sent to investigate their disappearance. The player has a... Now for the characters. The player has a choice between Alpha team members Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine as the main character. Jill has more firepower and a lockpick that enables her to access areas and items easily, as well as an inventory large enough to hold up to 8 items. While Chris has limited firepower but is more durable in terms of taking damage, and a smaller inventory that can only hold 6 items. Hold on, I'm going to shut my door and see if it will blank out my dog. Stop it, Millie. Sorry about this, I really am. The game's supporting characters include Barry Burton, Alpha Team's weapons expert who provides Jill with additional firepower, Rebecca Chambers, a surviving member of Bravo Team who supports Chris with her medical expertise, Albert Wesker, the captain of STARS and the leader of Alpha Team, and Brad Vickers, the helicopter pilot who sends transmissions to help them as he tries to find them in the helicopter. Minor characters include Joseph Frost, the 6th member of Alpha Team whose sudden death sets the story into motion, Enrico Marini, the leader of Bravo Team who gives the player the game's most critical plot twist, Richard Aiken, who gives the player a radio used to receive Brad's transmissions, Kenneth Sullivan, a member of Bravo team killed just after Alpha team arrives, and Forrest Spear, whose corpse is found on the balcony by the player. Now for the story. So if you want to play this game and haven't played it already, stop the review here. However, if you don't, let's get started. The game begins on July 24th, 1998, after the events of Resident Evil Zero. Alpha Team locates Bravo Team's helicopter, but there are no signs of survivors. Only a severed hand is found. While searching the area for further clues, Alpha Team is attacked by ferocious dogs, one of which kills one of the team's members, Joseph. Alpha Team's helicopter pirate... I keep saying pirate. I'm having a hard time saying L today. Brad panics and takes off alone, pursued by the dogs who killed their colleague. Alpha Team is forced to seek refuge within a nearby mansion, which is believed to be abandoned. With the dogs roaming outside, the 4 remaining Alpha Team members, Wesker, Chris, Jill and Barry, are trapped within. Depending on which character is the player, one of the members of Alpha Team is separated from the others during the chase and does not make it to the mansion. Barry if Chris, Chris if Jill. A gunshot rings and the player character moves to investigate. At this point, the player takes control of the character and begins to explore the mansion. One of the first discoveries is a member of Bravo Team, Kenneth, being eaten by a zombie. While searching the mansion, the character finds the other members of Bravo Team, such as Richard Icahn, dying of poison, who gives the character his radio before dying, Forrest Spear, found dead on a balcony, Enrico Marini, who reveals that one member of the team is a traitor before being shot and killed by an unseen attacker. The character eventually finds the mansion to be riddled with puzzles, traps and horrors. Scattered documents suggest that a series of illegal experiments were being undertaken on the property by a clandestine research team, under the authority and supervision of the biomedical company Umbrella Corporation. The creatures roaming the mansion and surrounding region are results of these experiments, which have exposed the mansion's personal and various animals and insects to a highly contagious and mutagenic biological agent known as the T-virus. After navigating a series of underground tunnels, passageways and buildings, the player discovers a secret underground laboratory containing the Umbrella Corporation's experiments, including the Tyrant. In the lab, the player learns that Wesker is a double agent working for Umbrella. Wesker is killed after that by one of the creations. The player... Killjoy is the enemy in like 6 of them. The player finds the other playable character in a cell, put there by Wesker, and manages to get him/her out by activating the self-destruct system. Chris, Jill and the helper character Rebecca if Chris, Barry if Jill, head for the heliport, but the other 2 are separated from the player due to more creatures. The player gets up to the heliport and manages to contact Brad and meet the other 2 survivors there. But they are attacked by the Tyrant, a giant humanoid monster created through prolonged exposure to the T-virus. After the Tyrant is defeated, Chris, Jill and Barry/Rebecca manage to escape the premise in the team helicopter, just as the entire facility is destroyed by explosives through the self-destruct system activated earlier. So guys, that's basically it. If you don't care about the spoilers and still haven't played the game, play it. Although you might have a hard time getting used to the controls. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can. You can get this and the next 4 Resident Evils off the PlayStation Store. All of them. I don't think you can off the Xbox though. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this review, which really wasn't that long, please go ahead and subscribe. Oh, by the way, due to the fact that this is such an old game that I don't actually own anymore, I won't be able to have any gameplay. It's probably a bit late to say that, but you know, it's alright.